Hello, in this video we're going to look at using trait-based polymorphism, static dispatch and the factory function. If you want to check the documentation for the Rust docs, it's chapter 10, 10.2, returning types that implement traits. I've alluded to this before and we've looked at some similar examples. Chapter 10 in the Rust docs. So we're going to create a new project, cargo new YT traits. And going to edit main. NV is my NeoVim shortcut. Trait animal. So first thing we'll do is create a trait, and we want our animal to make a sound, and we'll return a string slice. Just going to allow unused as well. Okay, so let's create some animals. So we're going to have a struct for a dog and a struct for a cat. If you've looked at the tour of Rust, there's a similar example using impl as a return or returning impl. But they've only got one type, which is sea creature. So I want to just explore this a bit more where you have different types, and you'll see shortly why I'm doing this. I can tell you now, we're doing it because we want to use an enum to allow us to have identical types with our match arm. If you've got Rust Analyzer installed, as soon as you type fn, it offers you the function signature. Turn wolf. Sorry. And then we'll do impl. We'll do the same for cat. Seems like a lot of typing, but when it completes the function signature for you, it's not so bad. Okay, so far so good. We're going to want to take some input. So what we'll do is we'll have a set function. We'll call it set pet. It takes an input of a string slice, and it returns a pet type, which I'll show you for now. We'll do it this way, and we'll match the input, and based on what gets passed in, we'll specify either cat. Okay, so it's easier if we actually do the enum first, because then it'll give us the autocomplete. So pet enum pet type. What I'm typing here doesn't have to match the struct name, but it's simpler if it does. So then we can do pet type, and that gives us the autocomplete. So create the enum first, makes life easier. We've got an issue here. Non-exhaustive pattern, so it's telling us that we need to handle anything else. So anything else, and we'll just panic. Good, it's accepting that, it will compile. Right. The problem here is that we also want to have a function, or want to be able to call make sound, but we want it to effectively happen once we've set our pet. So let's just impl. We need to implement animal or pet type, and then based on whatever self is, if it's pet type cat, then we want to do cat dot make sound, else we'll do, if it's pet type dog, dog makes sound. Okay, still compiles good. That's the difference here. We've got match input because it's matching on match input here because it's matching on some user supplied text. Here it's matching on self because that is what has been specified via the enum. Okay, so how we're actually going to use this. So when we use this, we actually want to be asking the user for please supply enter pet type, and okay, once we've got that, we want to read it in. So it's we need to create a buffer. So buff. And then stood in stood IO stood in dot read line. Ampersand buff. And then I think we use unwrap. Okay, that's okay so far. Let's just print. Well, let's print buff. Let's trim it as well. We want to get rid of the new line character that you always get. So exit that. Cargo run. Okay, that's good. Note that if we hadn't used trim, trim converts it to a string, I believe. So without that, I think we would have got a U size. I'm not sure. Let's. Oh no, we would have got it, but we would have got that the new line character. So yeah, we need to use trim. See down here on line 47. So let's put trim back in. In fact, it might be more logical just to call that input. So let's just format that as well. Cargo format. Right. So we've got some input from the user. We want to be able to set the pet. And my pet equals set pet, and sorry, I've deleted the closing bracket. Right, so we've set the pet, so now it knows that whatever we've typed in is now the correct enum, so it'll either be the pet type cat or the pet type dog chosen from the enum. Now it's done that, the import will then go ahead and we've now got the self. So then this will happen, which causes the sound. So, or will cause the sound when we run it. So pet type. Oh, sorry, my pet. Make sound. Oh, we need to. We'll just debug it as well. If we run it. Oh, we get panic. Wasn't expecting that. Let's go back in and see what the problem is. Panics at line 39. Okay. I know what I've done wrong here. We need to just actually set it. Nope. That's better. Okay, right, good. Typo, input. Right, now we've got our input, we can set the pet, and then when we set the pet, we can then do the pet make sound. So if we run this, hopefully it will work. Meow, yes, good, okay. Oof. Okay, good. Right, I just want to cover one last thing, which is the key point of this video was to actually use impl and then the trait name. So an interesting thing here is we can actually change this to be impl animal. So what we're saying is return anything which can use the animal trait. And we've already set the animal trait to be on dog and cat up here. I'll put the code in the description, have a play around with it. But it's just interesting that you can either use pet type here, or you can do impl animal. See, both work. So again, I think definitely play around with this. See if you can break it, improve it, add some error handling. In fact, shall I do that? I'll attempt it live, which is always asking for trouble, but let's do it anyway. And then we want to do, let's just do box dine understood, lowercase error, and then uppercase error. And then we want to just return OK with unit type. And that's not happy because, yeah, double colon, sorry about that. Okay, it compiles, good. In fact, I think, could I use a question mark there? Can. Let's see if that still works. Yeah. So we're bubbling up the error. So if you get an error there, then it'll either give you OK at the end or it'll give you standard error. Good. I'm still learning this, so feel free to copy my code, change it, modify it, take what you can from this. Again, it's still very much work in progress, this kind of live stream type of video. But I think it's good just to see somebody build something right from kind of scratch. I know that it's potentially more time consuming to watch, so yeah, feel free to watch it 1.25 speed or faster if you want. But I'm trying to keep this simple, and I think I'm recording these videos on my laptop, and I've not got any other screens open or anything, so this is all from memory, and I think it's hopefully seeing me do this, and me as a mere mortal, hopefully it gives you confidence to try it yourself and just type stuff in from scratch, try and do it all from memory, accept that you're going to get errors, let the compiler help you. Sure, ask ChatGPT to give you some examples that you can play around with, but eventually come up with a nice example that you can kind of practice many, many times, commit to memory, and then really understand every line of it. And yeah, just be able to type from memory every line. The only thing is maybe you let Rust Analyzer do the repetitive typing for you. So again, Rust Analyzer did these 3 lines for me, but had Rust Analyzer not done so, I would still have known what to type. It was just for speed. There we go. And yeah, if you want to know my Vim key bindings, I'm happy to share those. They're really basic. I don't use Lazy Rust or any of the Astra or any of these more complex ones. I try and keep it quite minimalist. So I've just got an init.vim file where I have some very basic key bindings. And I've got a key binding. I've actually hijacked Control B, which does my compile. When you're taking user input, obviously that's not much use, so that's why you've seen me just exit. But ordinarily, when I'm just doing small examples, I do Control B, but you could set that key binding to be anything you want. But it's just really, really fast to compile your code, and just one little keystroke in it, you can test compile it, and happy days. So thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with another video. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that, and feel free to leave a comment or make any suggestions. If I'd done anything here which I didn't need to do, what would you have put here? Would you have put pet type, or would you have actually stuck with import animal as per Rust docs? You see here, import, so import and then the trait name. But in this example, I don't know if they were using an enum, were they? Using import trait is appropriate if we want this function to allow item 1 and item 2 to have different types, which is what we've done here, cat and a dog, different types. As long as both types implement summary, and summary was the trait. If we want to force both parameters to have the same type, however, we must use a trait bound. Okay, so they're saying item 1 is of type T. Okay. So that's using generics, but really what we've done is use static dispatch. Good. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that, and I will be back soon, as I just said. Thanks for watching.